And we are rolling, we are live. Manchester United have a big task ahead, playing away at Vitality Stadium this Saturday against Bournemouth. If you remember, Bournemouth, who turned us around at Old Trafford with 0-3, goals scored by Solanke and Philip Billing. And you know what? It is a squeaky bum time for Ten Hag. The media is after him. There's numerous reports that he's got to win this game, otherwise will be sacked. Nobody really knows. I mean, it's not an easy task for United. This is a must-win game. 100%. We saw how Liverpool crumbled yesterday. Not even fifth might not give you a Champions League spot, but you certainly don't want to play in Conference League. So, even if you win the FA Cup final, you still can play in Europa League as a finalist. Sure, Ten Hag is under massive pressure, and sure, we are here to cover the manager's press conference that starts in about 15 minutes, and we're going to listen to the press. We're going to react on the questions, and in the studio I have the legendary MarkN sitting there in the green room waiting to talk to you. But before we continue the show, you know what to do. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will be back in 3 seconds. Good afternoon, Mr. Mark Nurse. Wie geht's? Alles gut? Nicht verstehen. Dumme Deutsche. I can't even speak German. How are you doing, Mark?
Alles klar, alles good. I'm good. I'm chilling, enjoying the day. The weather is getting better. It's warming up. It's that springtime. You know what I
The
mean?
birds are
So
singing.
it's good going. The only thing I would want is a Man United win this weekend. I feel like the fans, we need to back the manager at the moment, back the team. It's all we have at the moment, and I know it looks bleak, but we need to get points. We need to either stay in Europa League or probably sneak fifth and grab a UCL berth. So we need to just back what's happening right now and hope for the best, because in the summer we're gonna have a change. We're gonna have lots of changes. Maybe 5 players being sold apart from the 3 that's supposed to leave. So that leaves a lot of room. And if you've been paying attention to Erik Ten Hag, his briefings on the preseason, you would know that a lot of the youngsters from the academy is being introduced to the first team and training from now to prepare them for the preseason tour. So it's going to be an interesting one.
It is, and I'm glad you took a pause and caught a breath, because there was a lot of words in one sentence. Are the birds singing outside your balcony at the moment?
Always. I don't know where they come from, because I live in the city, but there's a few trees, so maybe they're hiding in them.
Yeah, the birds are definitely not singing at Ten Hag's camp at the moment. It's basically Scarecrow is coming, and this season we all know it, and we are here to cover the press conference, and we know how it is, like a Tuesday.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Hopefully today we will have good questions to ask. And Mark, what do we expect to hear from this press conference today? What do you expect, by the way?
Well, I hope there's a question on Marcus Rashford, on his availability, what's going on, what the type of injury is, what does it look like, what's the length of time he's going to be out. I also hope to hear some questions about the defense. How does he like the performance of Willy Kwambala? Will he start? Of course, he should start, but just to be sure, maybe an update, because I heard Malacia is back in Carrington.
Wow.
I'm hearing that he's going to be back and forth between Carrington and a specialist in Barcelona until he meets up with the team for preseason.
Yeah, preseason.
So he's on the way back. You never know what could happen. I think that's why, there's reports that we are making concrete contact with Frimpong, because I feel like we definitely in need of a backup. You know what I mean? So
it's one of those that we don't know. It might be career-threatening injury for Malacia. It's really frightening, and they've been not disclosing too much information. Wish him all the best, speedy recovery. It was a good signing. We signed him for 17 million euros, by my understanding. That was a correct figure anyway. So what else is going on today? Well, breaking news came out today that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is now stepping up, being the hero, meeting with the co-owner of Newcastle. It's absolutely old news. It's basically Sir Jim Ratcliffe is, as per businessman, meeting up for a lunch. In the deal in principle, media is reporting 15 million. And on this channel, you've been following us we've been having the finger on the pulse with intricate details regarding this deal. The deal's been done in principle. We reported this a while back ago, 15 million, 10 million for Newcastle and 5 million for Dan Ashworth as a compensation sign-on bonus. Why it's not been revealed, I think that the club will wait for the end of the window, end of the season to announce it. And I think he will start in the summer as well. So everything will be sorted out. But we need to sort out our game. We need to sort out our play. This cannot continue. We have heaps of injuries this whole season. I'm tired of talking about these injuries, Mark, to be honest. I just wanted to see, Ten Hag lining up good players. And lo and behold, we heard that the youngsters are been advanced up to the first team training, like in Harry Amas and in terms of Shea Lacey, in terms of who else do we have here? Ethan Wheatley and
Collier.
God, yeah, Collier.
Amazing
players, man, amazing.
Yo.
I mean, Harry Amas is one left back as well that you can sort of slot in if you don't get a Harry Frimpong, what you were saying, or if you don't have Malacia ready, and he's going to be available in the preseason. And then you have, they call him the Phil Foden of Manchester United. And who is that, Mark? Shea Lacey, yeah. The future is bright. 17 years old. He's turning 17. So
left-footed monster. It's going to be different when this guy comes. Guys, different. He's really different gravy. I don't like to hype the youth up too much because I want everyone to have a balanced view of them when they actually come into the team and not expect them to be like magnificent immediately. But this youngster, he's got moves like Jagger, to be fair.
He's got
moves
like a lot. Jagger, I also right? It's like that song. He's got moves, that Jagger. Yeah. No, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I also like Ethan Wheatley a lot. I think, a lot of us are thinking, we should go get Tony. Might as well. Maybe. I'm not a big fan, but at the same time, I'm looking at Ethan Wheatley coming through and at the rate he's scoring goals and the way he gets himself involved in the game, he's very, very good with runs. Like he has I would like to say it's a sixth sense with picking up where the ball is going to end up in the box. And he's very lethal because he's been scoring hat-tricks for fun this season. United are 10 points clear of second place with 5 games left. It's one of those things where they could play the reserve team and still win the league right now at this moment.
Fantastic. So. Listen, we did a separate video a couple of weeks ago regarding the youth, and maybe we should do another recap on that one as well. But, you mentioned Ivan Toney, of course, that's paper talk from the media pushing the agenda, and the agent, I don't think he's going to join Manchester United. Doesn't fit the profile, like in style of play and stuff like that. So I don't think that is... I haven't heard much from United side that they are in for him, more than they admire him, and the price is like 40 million been dropped. But they're definitely going for youth. And Benjamin Sesko, keep your eyes on Benjamin Sesko. I've been always saying that he's the number one priority. You saw that Xerxes is most likely going to Aston Villa. He's super agent in negotiating, but they want 65 to 75 million euros for him. And this is something that United will not pay. Benjamin Sesko, you can pay 45 million, but the RB Leipzig is also willing to negotiate a structure on that deal. Like, you don't have to pay 45 upfront, but you can pay it up in 3, 4, 5 years installment. In other words, they're just so concerned to develop the talent and ship them up to a good club because they are a farmers club. You know what? A farmers club is pretty much a selling club. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like, there's a couple clubs that was like that. Like Southampton was one of those clubs, There's a few clubs in La Liga that remind me of that as well, especially the clubs in Portugal, like a Benfica, like a Sporting Lisbon. Those are clubs are feeder clubs.
Benfica, 100%.
Yeah.
The feeder clubs, yeah.
100%. And like you keep saying, Mick, like we might have 200 million in the coffers, but we may not spend 200 million on 2 players. I think that makes no sense for us right now.
No, it makes no sense.
A lot of people are talking about their wish list, but when I look at the academy and I look at the project, because we're in a project realistically, second year of a rebuild. So I'm looking at it like if we could spend 60, 70 million, get two defenders, center backs, bring them in, maybe 75 and get 3, whether there's 2 youngsters and 1 experienced player who already knows the league or something. And then you spend another 70 and get like two midfielders that can come in and provide cover profile for profile with in the 6 or in the 8, the 10, something like that. I think that's the
Midfielder,
right track
striker,
to go on.
and two centre backs and left back is what I understand. Even what you mentioned something. Even if you have 200 quid in the coffers, you will spend it wisely. And the strategy of United this summer is to blend in the youth into the academy. So you will have, even if you have 200 million, you can still go for your signature signing. You know what I mean? But you will not go for like two players for 200 million or 100 million each. You won't do that. But you might get somebody like for 70 and spread it out, like, But I believe we will have more than 200 to spend. And it's going to be a busy window. It's going to be a busy window, by my understanding, but mostly on the outs. The outs. Keep in mind the outs. Anyway, Mark, big up everyone that's tuning in. We've been waffling around here for about 10 minutes without even acknowledging the VAR room that's joining us this afternoon. So Gary C, big up to see you. Good afternoon, folks. I can see also Sanjay saying good afternoon. Good evening, he says. And Alistair Dirks, big up Alistair, having seen you for a while. Good afternoon, Mick. 12 likes, 29 watching according to our counter, our own AI counter that's always in the VAR room. She's not AI, but Stephanie Griffith. Kenny Fan TV all the way from Sydney. Harry Amas is a baller, Mark. We know he's a baller. We know. Who else do we have here to shout out? Lou Man. Malasia is on, what does that say?
Anticipatory bail.
Oh, that's too much for my dyslexic eyes, to be honest. Yalaman is saying, I wish fifth was the Champions League, but both West Ham and Liverpool losing, along with Arsenal and City drawing, it doesn't look good. It does not. No, it does not, because it favors more the Germans team, doesn't it?
Yeah, so this is why I've been saying, Mick, I want Arsenal to I changed my mind. I wanted Bayern to knock Arsenal out. I want Arsenal to win and Man City to lose. So we get a German club out, an English club goes forward. We cut the treble out, and it's happy days, Mick, happy days.
It's we were doing a match preview in the middle of we started the live stream in the second half of the Atlanta-Liverpool game, and it turned out to be like kind of a little bit watch-along. We were laughing and we were celebrating 3-0. So if you missed that preview, go and watch it of the stream of the day. That was hilarious, to be honest. It was really a good stream, to be honest. It was mad.
It was mad. Like Klopp was moving mad.
He was moving like Jagger. Spring cleaning is the worst. And yeah, we need a spring cleaning, definitely the outs in the summer, peeps. We are approximately 4 or 5 minutes away from the actually live presser, which we're going to cover as per tradition. If you haven't tuned into this channel before, we're the only channel that covers it. It's live, and we comment and we react together. It's like a press conference watch along. So Thomas says he hates Thursday games. Me too. Like, I hate Thursdays, Thursday, Sunday, right? We always back the manager before what Luhmann is saying every game, but the manager himself who disappoints us with his helplessness. I think he's a little bit flat-faced. He's a little bit flat, deflated. There's been a lot of things piling up on him. So, of course, put yourself in the step outside from your own shoes and put yourself in his situation, right? Would you handle all this pile-on pressure, right? I certainly wouldn't. I mean, I got thick skin, but you know what? I understand that this is a high-pressure job, but what you have been dealing with, right? Not many people. I think a lot of people, Mark, will cave under this pressure. So, anyway, Shay is here from Arsenal. Wow, big up, Shay.
Yo,
hey,
big up, Shay.
Anyway,
I mean, I look at it like this, Mick. I feel like maybe even if I don't look at it as super tactical as some of the fans like Luhmann and like Jarvis and stuff, I just look at it from the perspective where we already know we don't really have a defensive core that could play the high line fit and available to play for the most of the games. So there's no reason that we could play a high line. But we also know that at the beginning of the season, when we played a deeper midfield and we played more compact, we were finding it hard to create chances to score goals. So I feel like this is why there's the space and the gap in midfield and defense, because we're playing in a mid-block and the midfield are still playing in a position as they would be playing if the defense was in a high line. Yeah. But this is done because I think Ten Hag expects the players to adapt to the situation and manage the game because, they're creating chances going forward in this setup. It's just
Mm.
that they have to manage what's happening in the midfield, which is a lot more work to do. So it's kind of heavily tasking on the players as well. So that's just the way I look at it right now.
Yeah, big up Stephanie Griffith coming in to say Alma's fast tracking probably reason Alvaro loaned out. That it is, we have a fantastic talent, right? So you cannot keep all, right? So you got to sell some, you got to, keep some as well. And they probably assessed and say Harry Amas is better than Alvaro, and most likely they will sell and keep Amas. Same what they did with Aaron Hansen Oren as well, like
And Dan Gore Jr. But I
yeah,
feel like in this situation, because of what happening with Malacia, and I feel like Luke Shaw, I feel like both Alvaro and Amas will be brought into the team because selling Fernandez is one thing, but we selling him to the tune of hoping that we go and get Frimpong. Dallo will cover at left back until
yeah.
Luke Shaw or someone else is fit. So I feel like we need to have at least someone who gain an experience playing in the top leagues for the
Yeah,
last
no,
couple.
100%. Look, I'm really, really excited to listen to this press conference. It's quickie bum time, and Luman is coming in with some language that says "Ap Terra Kia Hoga Sachiv." There must be some, I don't know, in
Probably
Hindu,
Hindi or something.
Hindi or something. Yeah, big up. Dark Crow is saying hello to you as well. Big up, Dark Crow. How you doing? How's your afternoon, man? Hope you're doing well. And whoever is celebrating Eid as well, enjoy the festivities, enjoy spending time with your families, eat proper, feast, and yeah, it is that time of the year as well. We are waiting for the manager's press conference as per usual. MU at TV are always late, Mark, right?
Mhm.
But it's all
I
about
see
the setup,
Luman
right?
is saying. I see Yali is saying Fernandez is not good enough. But he's not getting game time at Benfica. But I think the reason behind that is not him and his performance personally, to be honest, because he
It's Benfica
started a few
strategy.
games for them this season, and in the game where he played in the Europa League, he was one of their best defenders in the game. I think it's mainly because Man United did not include a sell-on clause that they could enact themselves, they could activate it themselves. And if they play him a certain amount of games, they have either to buy him or to return him. So I
Mm.
think they're trying to avoid that situation because United, I think, didn't give them a price. So the value of them having to purchase him might be double of what they initially
Yeah,
planned.
yeah, yeah. And by
I
not
think
playing him, the value will not go up either. So it's an old strategy as well, like But it's sad because you loan out your players because you want to develop them, right? And if it doesn't go well, that's not a good loan, is it?
Yeah, and if you look at the first 6 months of his loan, he was a nailed-on starter at Granada. He was one of their best players. He contributed to like at least five of their goal contributions, scoring at least two
Yeah.
himself. So I think he has been showing that he's a good performer consistently in Spain. So you never know.
You never know. Jamie Wayne coming in to say the news United stand broke this morning about Nagelsmann take it as BS because I don't want to say the word because of the YouTube algorithm, but here we go, bullshit. Okay, because that's what it is. No talks have been taking place. I mean, yeah, big up. I do respect every content creator, but if you're talking about them, they've been fueling Southgate, been throwing it out there.
Nagelsmann.
Yeah. At the same time, protecting the managers is a little bit weird one. I agree, Jamie. So anyway, big up for mentioning it. Nagelsmann, I think he will be more suited to Liverpool if you look at it because Jurgen Klopp, Gegenpressing, the school of Ragnick, same cloth, school from the same cloth is Nagelsmann. So it doesn't make sense for Liverpool, who has already like developed this style of play for the past 9 years, to go for something different, right? So I think they're most likely to go for Nagelsmann than anyone else.
Also,
What's your thought?
Nagelsmann is like, I know a lot of fans like Nagelsmann, but
I
does
do too,
fans
yeah.
even know why he left Bayern? Because he was having problems with the egos in the dressing
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Guys like Kimmich and these guys and
Yeah.
Neuer and these guys, they were overriding him.
Yeah.
So
But he's still young. And unproven in certain ways. Like from RB Leipzig, okay, he did okay. And Bayern is always hoovering up the latest and greatest, and that was the next shiny thing. And I feel sorry for him, but he's got so much things to learn. And can we afford to get the sort of young, unproven manager, especially when you know that they have rocket fuel up their ass seniors? They want to win quickly right now. They want to build. They want to win quickly. So it's clear and obvious that what we reported the other day, they will probably keep him for another season and then go for a better manager that will be
next
available
season if he doesn't do well.
because
Yali,
then you will have Amarin. You will have then you have
Amarim closed down that. He shut down Liverpool. He said, I've not been in talks with them. I'm not going anywhere. I'm the sporting director at this club and I want to win with this club. That's what he said. That was just yesterday. Fabrizio Romano tweeted it. Big up to you, John Johnson, as well.
Yeah, true.
20 likes, guys. Keep smashing the likes. 78 watching. Those of you on Twitter, if you're watching along on X, please give it a little retweet. Help the channel grow. Small takes are like 2 seconds to do, right? And smash a like, guys.
It's a free. We'll talk about Amaron later on, and we will talk about potential managers well in 2005. I mean, 100%. You will have the likes of Xabi Alonso available. 100% you will. Hell, even you're going to slaughter me for this one. Even Pep Guardiola from City will be available, and the links Pep Guardiola and the City group with Omar Barada and stuff like that. But you know what?
Guardiola.
At the end of the day, you want to manage that kid. Develop youth as well, because this is what it's all about right now. It's all about youth at the moment.
Guardiola wouldn't be a bad be a bad coach, to be fair. I just never really liked him from the rivalry with Barcelona and with Bayern Munich.
No.
He went to all our biggest rivals in Europe, to be fair,
Yeah, true. And of course you will have Ancelotti as well from Real Madrid available as well 2005. So there will be more astute, best-in-class manager available in 2025. But if you look at this season, 2024, you have a lot of clubs looking for a manager, and there is a shortage. So it's going to be very interesting to follow, Mark, to be honest. We are a little bit late with the presser. As per usual, it was supposed to start Q2, but now it's kicking on by the
No,
looks
not
of it.
starting anytime. Not yet. They're going
Yeah,
to
I
show
don't know.
a
It's kicking on. Yeah, 100%. The press conference is about to start.
Coming up, Mick.
Yeah.
You bring it to the screen.
Centre here at Carrington, where shortly
It's in Carrington.
Eric Ten Hag will deliver his pre-Bournemouth press conference. As you can see, the journalists are gathering. So let's hear now what Eric has to say.
Good afternoon, Eric. We got the news yesterday about more defensive injuries, but can you give us an update first on Marcus Rashford and Scott McTominay and whether they're available this weekend?
Good question.
Scott, I don't think so. We have a training, so we have a day. He will push. He's so keen to be part of it tomorrow, but I think it's so it's very questioning. And then Rashford he trained yesterday. See how we recovered from it today, and we will another training today, and then we will make the decision on it.
Defensively, we know that Rafa Varane and Johnny Evans are going to be missing this weekend. That's been centre-back has been a particular problem for you all season long.
Not only centre-backs, also the left full-back position.
In terms of the centre-back in particular, though, how important has Harry Maguire's experience been? Because he was close to leaving last summer. Are you glad now that he didn't? Because he's got such an important role to play now.
You have to see that in perspective. So we were always happy with Harry Maguire, but he wants to play, and he's a great leader. He's a very good defender. So very comfortable on the ball, And when I count all those abilities, just now when we are in our defending line, we have our problems. Then he's even more important to lead that line, to make us play from the back, So we are very pleased.
Play
he's
from the
there.
back. Kidding
We
me?
need him to get our results and to achieve our targets.
John Murtaugh's departure this week, Eric, can I just ask you, I know that there is a structure in place now that he has moved on, how that will impact your plans and your thoughts and your ideas for the remainder of this season, but also going forward into the new season as well?
I think you mentioned that something in the new season. It's very important that the new ownership is working on this, and they have to replace this function to go into the new season. For the moment, of course, I miss his support, and now the surround board, you miss that. But he moved on. There has been made choices, so we work very good together. So I would say thank you to John, and I wish him all the best for the future.
You say you miss his support, and obviously you work closely with him, but putting your own plans in place as well, does it impact at all on what you want to do?
No, for me, as I said previously, I also work with the new ownership very good and closely together.
Wow.
And that will not change. It doesn't have impact on the way I can work here. So conditions were perfect and are still perfect. So I'm happy that. But
they already made plans
to set the right conditions to be successful.
Yeah, they already made plans, Mark.
Eric,
That's what it is.
How difficult has it been not to have a settled back four pretty much throughout the whole of the season? Has that hampered the way that you've had to think every single week in the way that you pick your side?
Yeah, it's very difficult. And so everyone who has a little bit knowledge about football, they know it will affect your results, your performance and your results. So back four is always a foundation to get in the results. And we didn't have that. But then still we have to win. And we know that. And so then others has to take the responsibility. But when you oversee it, then you know also, it has a negative impact.
Eric, if we look back to the previous meeting with Bournemouth, that was obviously the game in December, the 3-0 loss. And after that game, you said that you thought as a squad that you weren't good enough to be consistent at that point. How much do you sort of think that's still a problem, or to what extent do you think that things have improved in that sense?
It was, in a sense, it was after a very good performance against Chelsea in the week. And we were mentally not ready for that game. And they battled us and we lost the battles. So, and tomorrow will not different. That is the way they play. So they want to fight with you. And so it's about make sure
you fight back.
Go in that fight and you have the convincement and you have
that's it.
So the belief, and you need to support each other to win the battles and to outplay them and to outrun them, and in defending to match the runs.
Outrun them and outplay them. Good luck.
Eric, how frustrating has it been for you as the manager to be in winning positions in the last few games and then end up dropping so many points?
That is, of course, is that frustration, but it is for me but for the team as well. And so the most important part, we get it, to put yourself in a winning position, and also, and it was not luck. No, it was. We did it out of a plan, but then of course you have to bring the win over the line, and we should act in such moments. We should act better, and it's not about organization, but it has to do with individual tactical mistakes, sometimes technical. It was not out of open play, but we have to manage such situations better.
Well, that's just about it.
Wow.
If you want to see the press conference in full, you can do from 10:30 tonight UK.
Yep, so there will be a full 10:30 coverage, I think, second embargo. I must say, they've changed the reporters in there. Very professional questions today. No Simon Stone, no garbage in there. Proper questions. I would say that's probably one of the best conferences I covered with you here, Mark, as well. And listening to those questions regarding the structure, regarding John Murtaugh, regarding how it's affecting and how he's going to play and dropping points and dropping injuries. Do you think it was more of a PR scripted to the media from Manchester United, or do you think this was pure genuine? Because I thought it was really good questions here. We find out a lot of good gems here, Mark. You're on mute. You're still on mute. Sign language, please. Unmute yourself, Mark. You are on mute.
Oh, my bad. You know, it was
There you
just
go.
like I was saying before. You know, you want to hear about Marcus Rashford, his injury report. You want to hear about the other defenders that possibly out, what happened in there. You want to hear about a little bit of what possibly going to happen with the team going forward now that John Murtaugh leave. You know, you also wanted to hear about if there's any plans, how does it affect the summer transfers, or what you have envisioned for the team to, progress to.
Yeah.
And as you could see, he didn't look dismayed. He didn't look frustrated really with those questions, because it seemed like, they already have plans made.
They already made
answered that
plans.
question.
He said that, we already spoken to the new establishment, so they already made plans, and the recruitment plans are already made back in November, December anyway. So, of course, he has to say, for PR, I miss working with John, and there's natural things to say, right? But you wouldn't say oh, he's a shitster, I didn't like to work and get me in the wrong place. You wouldn't call it out like that, no. So more professional. In terms of Harry Maguire question was also a weird one, he's I agree, leader, stuff like that, but he's kind of playing out from the back, and playing out from the back with Harry Maguire. You kidding me? It's like I reacted straight away. It's like an oil tanker started to turn. So if you play Harry Maguire, of course you cannot play from the back, right? But another thing that he sort of said that I picked up, other than that, I thought it was good. Some key moments here when you talk about, Bournemouth, we have to fight, we have to overrun them. I mean, it looks like he's addressing what we've been saying all the time. The midfield's been overrun. We've been complacent. And he's probably going to say, he said, this time it's going to be different. This is what he opened to say, Bournemouth, this time it's going to be different. Because he asked about the turnover with 0-3 at Old Trafford.
100%. And, it was one of those things where that particular game, it was difficult, for me, to watch. It was one of those games where, you don't expect United to leave based on the game that we had previously. We was in a good position. We should have won. And to capitulate in that way had to be disturbing, not just to you, but to the manager as well,
Jamie Wynn's coming here. My question now is, what's yours going to do if he gets another year? To the chats. Well, that's to the chat to answer. Another key question which was brought up to the stage. Let me just refresh my mind. Something very interesting. Well, it's damning right that you don't have Johnny Evans, Rafael Varane. He mentioned about Marcus Rashford, that he was training, had a training session, he will train again. But I think he will not bring him in. It's too early, right? So unless the club is forcing him, right? But I want to see a proper rest, right? There is a player in Rashford. We've been very critical regarding Rashford's performance, but it's just been the antics off the pitch and what you're seeing on the pitch, right? But on a Marcus Rashford, switched on, hungry, determined, motivated, is a good Marcus Rashford. But right now, he's not enjoying his football. So all I can say for this one, we were almost joking, maybe he's playing injured to make himself available for PSG pre-season. Jokes aside, but at the end of the day, he's a Manchester United player, and we got to call a spade, and we're going to speculate. But I think Marcus Rashford needs a break. He needs a proper rest. He hasn't been rested. Step away from Euros. You don't have to go to Southgate's team. Take a proper holiday, recover, because he's been carrying knocks and injuries and niggles, and apparently if that's the problem. And same thing goes with majority of our players as well, because there's a Euros coming up as well, so you will not get much rest if you go into the Euros and then straight to preseason in US.
100%. And I think that I think that, is one of those things where, you want to see rotation in the squad. You want to see what these other youngsters have to offer. And, if Marcus Rashford is injured, rest him. Play Mason Mount off the left, play and start Anthony, start Amad Diallo. Let me see something different, because you know what? We're going into a summer where, you never know what could happen in the transfer window.
Yeah,
We already know
100%,
that Martial
100%.
contract is up.
100%.
Ericsson probably leaving. Amrabat leaving. So, it's just thinking about what are the possible players who will be leaving. Maybe Donny going leave, Sancho leaving. Maybe you might see a shock sale of Marcus Rashford to PSG. You never know what could happen.
You know what? I'm working on a documentary about that. A little bit late. I was supposed to deliver it today, but I couldn't. Right, so there will be a very interesting details there. Listen, at the end of the day, if it's a pure profit, right? It's an academy talent. If they get a right offer, they will listen to it. But it comes down to Marcus Rashford. What do you want? Are you happy in the current establishment? Depending on what Ashford and Omar Barada and Wilcox and then coming in to say this is the style of play, what we want to do. I always keep saying that Marcus Rashford in this system, Ten Hag's high possession system or a high pressure system, does not work. Marcus Rashford for me is more of a counter-attacking footballer, so he's not really happy in the system because it requires him to press off the ball, like high pressing and track back. And we've seen numerous of instances him jogging and even walking and ball watching, looks disinterested. So it'd be interesting. But if the offer comes in, Rashford has to sort of consider it as well. Like, say if PSG comes knocking on the door, it's 75, 80 million, boom, right, pure profit on the FFP. Yeah. So maybe he will leave. Who knows? It's going to be a very interesting summer, and then it's going to be a very interesting game on Saturday, to be honest. Like, we did a preview about this yesterday. We spoke about this, and Bournemouth is not a pushover. It's like, if you look at the fixture form, the past 5 games, Mark, they won 3 at home, 1 draw and 1 loss away. So they're pretty much in form, right?
Yeah, well, in form, there's some decent wins. I feel like it's not like prolific wins. Like, they weren't scoring multiple goals in those games. I think one game they scored 2. The other game was 1-0 and 1-0 and a draw. You know what I mean? So I feel like, big up to you, mental ball game. You know what I mean? I just feel like, Bournemouth has done okay. They did beat us 3-0 at the end of the day, but I feel like this United team currently in the last 3 games, we've scored an average of 2 goals or more. If you go back 5 games, we scored about average of probably 3. If you consider since January, it's definitely an average of 3 point something. So it's one of those things where, United will score some goals tomorrow. It's just how many will we score and will we defend well? So,
hope so.
I just think that if you look at Anthony's performance in the last game against Liverpool, he's definitely growing in confidence. You could expect a big performance from him. You could expect Ahmad, if he gets a chance, to come in there roaring, because, he was out for the last game for whatever reason. So, Garnacho has been constantly one of the biggest threats going forward for our team. So I just feel like, we will definitely be in the team in the ascendance in the game. I feel like we will be the team taking in most control of the game. Sure, Bournemouth probably will have their moments, and Solanke is dangerous, but if I'm not mistaken, he's now coming back from injury, so I won't expect him to be doing the amazing and the fantastic. But at the end of the day, they come in with the confidence that they already beat us this season. But also that could be a negative in their part.
Could be. Anyway, there was I'm going to talk about Willy Kwambala there as well quickly, because if you remember, Willy Kwambala was one of the highest sorted talents centre backs in Europe, and Manchester United managed to get him, getting signatures quite expensive, right? He was supposed to be a part of the plan, but he got injured, and now you can see the bearing the fruit. Willy Kwambala is a massive Manchester United supporter. He's a massive Manchester United supporter. But in this presser, he mentioned something very interesting, and he spoke about to outrun, to have energy. That means that he's kind of understood that the midfield needs to be tighter. There needs to be more energy in that midfield. And we did a preview about this yesterday. So I believe even Jarvis and me, we picked Mason Mount in the midfield, because Mason Mount, it's time to step up. He's been injured. He's got plenty energy in that tank. We know it. Off the ball is so good. And when you look at pressing off the ball, pressing high, Mason Mount is your guy. So I believe Mason Mount will start next to Kobe Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes probably. That would be our midfield. There's no Scott McTominay. He's out, twisted in his knee.
No, Varane. Varane is out.
Out.
Mental. This is a big question, 37 watching. Let's get the likes up, guys. Actually, it's 97, but I think 60 of them.
Yeah, 97.
Twitter.
Yeah.
So big up to you guys. I don't know, Mental. To be fair, I'm one of those fans that I would try my best to either keep him or Johnny Evans or both. I think I would rather sell Maguire and Lindelof, to be fair, because I feel like the experience Varane has is more useful as a player coach in training with the young defenders that we will be bringing up to the team. Guys like Ogonayi and Collier, these guys could learn a lot from him. Even Willie Kwambala is probably learning a lot from him and Johnny Evans. And imagine,
100%.
So
100%.
it's just one of those things. I think in terms of value, we will get more bang for buck if we was to sell Maguire and Lindelof than if we were to sell Varane. I just feel
but
like
you know that's you're gonna get 2 new centre backs and 2 needs to go. And I think that the club will keep Harry Maguire. That Varane is out of contract in the summer, and they're looking to sort of kind of ship him off. And Lindelof will probably most likely, those 2 most likely will be shipped off, which is sad, right? Which is sad. I'd rather keep a Varane, give him an extension, ship Maguire out and Lindelof, and keep Varane, but at the same time, bring up some youth like in Willie Kwambala. I think Willie Kwambala will start cooking next season as well. He'll be having more regular. So you're looking at Todibo. You've been linked to Todibos and Bremer and stuff like that for Juventus. But perhaps it won't be. Perhaps it will be just 1 or 2 centre backs incoming.
Yeah, remember we did that stream where I talked about Anselmino. He's gonna probably be the front runner to come in first. But like they were saying, they're probably gonna send him out on loan. So maybe he might be going to Nice, or he might be going back to Boca Juniors. You never know. Yeah. The other player was, Abdil Faye, the young Barcelona centre back who plays for Senegal. I think he's realistic. His price tag is just about 20 million. Kwambala is really impressed. I've been telling Mick about it for the longest while. I've been telling guys, I think this is the biggest reason we have not gone in for Todibo, and we are likely not to go in for Todibo because this youngster provides the same identical profile. He's 4 years younger, and he's just as big, just as fast, just as good on the ball. And as you can see in his performance against Liverpool, he usually makes very, very good decisions, and if he makes a mistake, he tries his best to mop it up as well. So I would like to see him get his chance. I think in the next 9 games, a lot of people will get to know him very well. I think he will probably cement a starting role for the rest of the season if he has a good performance tomorrow.
Yeah, big up, bro.
That's positive.
You know what? You touched on some very interesting points there, because now there will be some form of correlation between United and Nice, although not the same owner, but kind of Trollus Limited in his Sporting. You know what I mean? But Anselmino, yes, 100%. You might get an Anselmino in because the plan is what they're saying they're going to do, like City, like you buy the player into the mother club and then you loan it up to some affiliation, right, for development. So they're going to be swapping players. It might be so that hear me out. It might be so that you bring in like the young Max Anselmino. I can't even. Anselmino from Argentina, Boca Juniors. You might bring him in, right, and loan him up to Nice. At the same time, we get Todibo in. You know what I mean? It might be like this, transitional, right? But you don't know. It's going to be interesting. So centre back he spoke about in this press is super important because we know that we had, 11 different combinations. We had approximately 60 injuries total to the entire squad this season, unprecedented. But the centre back, the defence is very important, right? That leads that we need to strengthen that defence 100%, and we need to strengthen that midfield. That's the core. That's the heart and the engine. I mean, the attack will sort it out by itself. Like, you have Højlund, you have Garnacho cooking, you have, Ahmad, as you said, you have
Anthony as well.
Anthony,
possibly, you never know. Mason Greenwood might be back next season.
Possibly. So the links of getting Ulisi has kind of slowed down. Like, we haven't heard much about Ulisi links anymore. We haven't heard much about winger links anymore because I think we have enough wingers. That's the thing, right? We're looking for one striker, an additional striker. We're not looking for more wingers and strengthen the midfield and the defense. And that should be it for the summer.
100%. That's not a bad summer. Let's say five players, 3 in defense, 2 in midfield, a possible striker. That would be a grand total of 6. We see 5 outfielders leave, along with Martial and Eriksson and Amrabat and Sancho and Donny van der Beek. And I think, this allows some of the youth to come into the squad and have the opportunity to get game time, whether it's a few minutes here and there, provide backup. And I think that's the way forward for us, like not the marquee, not like a bunch of marquee signings, but maybe have one marquee signing in the bunch.
The club is going to the right direction. I've been a big advocate here, ever since we started the channel, speaking about the grassroots leagues and they're definitely dipping into that market in South America, like, getting players on the cheap, and this is what I like. This is what we should have done years ago, but unfortunately we had no inept footballing people understand football. They've just been signing shirt sellers over over talent, so this is what's going to excite me in the summer, to see Anselmino. Nobody really know who he is, but he is the best upcoming center back from South America. This is what the reports are saying. So he's really cool. It's very cool. Anyway, what else is there to say about this press conference? Confidence. He looked very confident. He said he did a little bit of a shrugging. If you understand a little bit of football, he did like this. Arrogance. I was laughing.
I mean, look at it like from the perspective, we are all huge football fans. We all want Manchester United to be great again, I can't see the manager not wanting the same thing for the team. Why else would he be manager of Manchester United, So, in other words, I can't see him not trying to take action to fix certain problems. I just feel like there's so many issues that we had over the course of this season that it was really a difficult situation to muster them all, because it was like you have 50 leaks on one single pipe. Every time you plug a new leak, a next one spring up, 2 spring up here, 1 spring there.
We need more contractors, plumber contractors, to fix the leaks in Greater Manchester and Carrington area. Please, if you know somebody, give us the contracts and we can pass it on to them, because we are tired. I mean, the leaks have stopped a bit, but I think it's more of the media second guessing and creating this divide and conquer as per usual. That's what they do, throwing just names out of the, pulling a rabbit out of the hat and just throwing it out there. But they don't really know what's going on anyway, and we shouldn't be listening either. We shouldn't.
Facts.
Facts.
Because since what, October, they're trying to sack Ten Hag. Since October,
Yeah,
the
they
second
want-
month of his second season, after
Man.
coming third and playing 2 cup finals, they tried to sack him.
Wake up, smell the coffee. We've seen this playbook before, right? We've seen this playbook. They lift up the manager, and 18 down the track, they already have the script written how to get rid of the manager, because they don't really care about United. They just want to create stories. And what better way is to repeat the same story again under the playbook? So now we're going to throw the manager on the bus, and now that's going to create a lot, months of clickbait stuff. We're going to make a lot of money, and that's how it works, Mark, unfortunately. So people, wake up, smell the coffee. And by the way, wake up, smell the coffee, and just remind yourself that the Glazers are still in the background running the show. So Glazers out as well. Big up, Admiral
100%.
Drexel.
What I could say, Mick, is that it would be interesting to see what is their controversial decision for the summer, because I just get this feeling that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I don't know about people. I really didn't want Sir Jim Ratcliffe as owner, but after seeing some of the interviews, seeing some of the decisions that have been made by the group, I'm starting to feel like his personality, for me, similar to my own in a way. Or similarly, of that kind of, I don't really care much about what people think. I'm gonna do it my way, and double down and back myself. So I feel like, maybe some decisions, like, maybe you never know, because Jason Wilcox, from what I've read about Jason Wilcox, he was a huge reason why Mason Greenwood was a consistent player in the English national team. So You never know what could happen.
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, like, you know, this is just scratching the surface at the moment, and it's a lot of PR coming at the moment. So just be sensible, be humble, you know, use your common sense and logic. And what we said, you know, as Seth said, the proof will be in the pudding till it's eaten right now. 100%. I see this as a start, but I don't see this being far from over. Like, you know, you got to be patient. You say it's a rebuild. It's actually a proper rebuild, like, you know, because we've been crying out to do so. People say we don't have a style of play. Well, excuse me, we haven't had a style of play since Sir Alex Ferguson left. We haven't, right? So Ten Hag has shown a style of play in the beginning of his tenure, like, you know, first season, but this has just not been a style of play, right? But I believe, like, you know, if you give him the summer, get rid of the deadwood here, what is not his players, and start integrating more of the youth academy that's already playing the Ten Hag style, and, you know, I think there might be something different. But at the end of the day, if you're Ten Hag out, Ten Hag in, that is your opinion. You know, here we're just providing a balanced approach. We got to talk about it, left, right, and in the middle, of course, you have the shit, which is the media providing
100%. Big up to Jarvis Cocker. Afternoon all. Thank God it's Friday. You know what it is. Heart emoji flames.
TGIF. Oh, I would love to go to a TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. It's been a while. Big up, Jarvis. How you doing as well, my brother from another mother? How are you doing? It was a fantastic show we had yesterday, Jarvis. Thank you for that one. What is, before we close the shop, let's just go over to the chat. What is the VR? Beautiful VR room saying here. Jarvis is here to say, Jamie Wayne, yep, the media are scratching the dry wall at the moment, 100%. And they're scratching the heads as well. Ivo Bosic, Olise for Bruno, make it happen, please. Cheers, Ineos. Well, hang on. Is Olise a number 10, or is he more of a winger?
He's a winger, but
he's a winger, bro. Yeah.
You know, Ivo Bosic.
Yeah, big up speaking the truth there. Drexy, what you're saying, watch the media go after Ange soon. He doesn't subject to the narrative. They've already done the Ange Postecoglou. They've thrown every single manager in that ring, in the hat, to say, oh, look at this one, look at that one, look at Nagelsmann, look at Tuchel, who, by the way, bottled it against PSG. Jesus Christ, that was a wrong in-game management that cost him dearly. MUFC, what you say? Well, Trawlers Limited, it's going to start liquidating United's debt. There's podcast with credible source. He has stated Trawlers Limited will liquidate United's debt. Well, in that case, it's something called debt to equity, right? Well, debt to equity is pretty much if he does pump in money from his own, that will then convert into him getting Class B shares in return. And that is kind of a potential path for a full takeover, right? Because the debt is there. You cannot lie. Glazers are still here. We're still on 1 billion in debt, and that needs to be disappearing. So the only thing that Ratcliffe can do on 27% is to pump in money, like, you know, a stadium build. He takes it on, puts it debt to equity. The same with the debt to equity. So I hope that makes sense in layman's term. Big up MUFC as well.
100%.
What else? Any more questions before we wrap up the show? Get your questions in, please. Ivo Bosic, better yet bring in Lisi than Eze here. Baller heaven. I like Eze.
I like Eze. We could make an agreement on the Eze situation. You see the Olise issue? I feel like wanting Olise to play as a 10 when he's never played as a 10 before and hoping that his creativity will do well, that's a different ball game, bro. That's a square peg in a wrong hole.
Can you bring up Truth Seeker as well to the stage? Mr. Truth Seeker, Mr. or Mrs. Truth Seeker, whatever you are, let me know. Listening to Ten Hag's press conference, the guy is concussed. Okay, well, I know Varane is concussed, but of course, that's funny, concussed. Yeah, he was concussed when he said about Harry Maguire playing out from the back, and it's like, ooh, that's a little bit of a concussion there.
You know, you have to make it sound good. You know, like I look at it from a tactical perspective when you're talking to the media. Now, if you want to sell Harry Maguire, you have to make him look good. Like, think about it, fans. A lot of players, when fans hyping them up, the prices be high in the transfer market. If we talk down Harry Maguire or we talk down any player, then most likely the price not going to be so high in the market. So, you know, you had to make it seem like we don't want to sell Maguire. So if a team they're coming in at 40 mil. 40, 50.
No,
You know what I'm saying? So
there was reported also regarding the value has increased from Garnacho and Højlund. It's gone up in price big time. So that is good business for United as well. So that's why I'm sort of reiterating to say this, to stress the importance of getting the right players from the grassroots on the cheap. And if they do start doing well, they will go up in price, right? So something is changing and I like it. This is what I like, right? I don't care who they are. United needs to change. We need to turn the page. And somebody was asking me yesterday, about what is the United style of play, or you know what I mean? I said, well, the United way, we haven't played United way since Sir Alex left anyway. So we better create our new United way. MUC saying, well, with Dan Ashworth and Wilcox coming in, they cannot officially do anything on the side. That is true. Side they are coming, but if they do out in helping United, they can get sued. Yes, true. Very, very, very absolutely true. If you are still on a garden leave, you're still not really contractually obliged to come into the office, but you're giving away all the proprietary information to the company. They stripped you off, and you're not allowed to do anything, pretty much. You can accept another employment, 100% you can. If you do, you lose that payout, what's been promised to you for 12 months. And this is what you've seen regarding Manchester United paying Newcastle 10 million and 5 million in add-ons to Ashworth, because Ashworth will be losing 5 million in that compensation. So that's what it is. Big up M&M, not the
big
chocolates,
up
right?
Craig. Big up GB. Like you're saying there, at the same time too, I look at it like this. In reality, these guys could have conversations, whether it's directly or indirectly. They could have a little
really
chat
knows.
room nobody knows about. Yo, listen.
Yo,
this happening. This
no,
is the guy. This is the
100%. It
guy.
happens behind the scenes without them knowing. They can give advice. Murta was traveling around because he was pushed to travel around to say, go speak to this and this person. I know this person well. Like you're brokering the deal, make sure these players are available. What are you selling? XYZ. Now Murta resigned already, a couple of I think it was 2 months ago. It was evidentially we did a podcast regarding this as well. So going back to what MUFC is saying, technically you cannot be seen, but officially, behind the scenes, you can give advice, right? I've been on garden leave before and been doing that, because I know I signed a contract with Manchester. I got to be started working with them 6 months down the track. So of course, nobody's stopping you to give advice, But in the interim, if Ashworth is not coming until potentially the summer, the club will pretty much announce it after the window, is what I've been told as well, after the season is over. But in the interim, you have Wilcox coming in as well, swiftly, right? So he will be looking on the both sides, be assisting in the recruitment, stepping in as an interim, covering from Ashford's role as a sporting director. As soon as Ashford comes in, everything will be put in right place.
Guys,
of course, Julian Ward's potentially coming in as a head of recruitment as well. Big up for that one.
Yeah, Mick, and this is one thing that I was thinking to myself over the last couple hours. I was like, there's no way in the world John Murtaugh resign and leaving, and we don't have someone coming in for the summer to replace him.
Yeah,
so and then when you look at what happened with Jason Wilcox, he resigned. There's no gardening leave. He resigned.
No, he resigned. He was. I work in the intermediate market, and agencies, they do recruitment and they do look for headhunting the replacements. So I cannot say much more, but the case of Newcastle is that they are also solidifying their candidate. The main priority, it's not to sort of put the Spanish in the wheel for Ashworth. They also looking to point their candidate, and they're interviewing and having a shortlist. So to also start in the summer, because they are in the same situation like United. It's not that they want to sort of, you can't even keep, you will not even sabotage. It's like more of a media story, if you know what I mean. Because technically, he's not working for Newcastle anymore. He's given the resignation. They're taking his proprietary information. Basically, can do zilch at the moment, right? So, in terms of Murtaugh madness, yeah, fine. There was a question in the press conference, and of course Ten Hag had to sort of big him up a little bit, but we all know what Mert has been doing, and I don't think what they've been saying in the intermediate and agent market, that he's done a lot of dodgy stuff. All right. The incompetence of Murtaugh is well documented. Was very good in developing the academy with Nicky Cox and all that stuff. So he hasn't done bad stuff, like, in terms of developing the academy. We've seen the academy bearing fruit right now, and that was actually the labor of John Murtaugh, but it was an appointment with internally, so he's clueless when it comes to being a sporting director. So he's basically outsourced majority of his roles to external consultants, which led to be shambolic, right? But we are heading towards the right path anyway. So big up mental ball game, what you're saying here. What is mental ball game saying, Mark?
How long do you think before we start seeing results on the pitch after structural changes are done? This question is a double-edged sword. I'll just go quickly, Mick, and say,
go quickly.
One, I won't put a measure on it in terms of in the next 2 to 3 or 4 seasons, but I would say this much: you would immediately see differences when the new structure starts working. You would immediately see differences. So, but I would say if we keep Erik ten Hag going into next year with this structure coming into play, definitely we might not challenge for the league next season, but we're definitely going to see a stark improvement in our competitive spirit and the way we play football. Because I think with a structure behind him, backing him the way, I think the players will have to fall in line. And depending on the summer we have, if there are key players that get suddenly sold, I think it's going to be a shake-up. So
I can give you my professional opinion regarding that's been involved with transformational change with big organization and stuff like that. So you always do, like, a 3 to 5 year transitional planning, right? You always do it in micro steps or steps, right? So it's not like you on the switch of a light bulb, like, the things will happen. But in order for have this new blood coming in, the new management, they will also need to be settling down. But they already done the organizational planning, way ahead, right? So it's just a matter of fact getting those people in. They are already developed plans what to do, right? And milestones for this year. And this milestone is to, we're not going to rip up the manager. We're going to keep the process. 1 year left on his contract. We're going to get rid of a lot of players and cut the wage bill down, and we're going to bring in academy players and start recruit. And if it goes tits up with the manager, we already have our preferred choice candidate available 2025. So we will see instant changes in the way we're operating as a club, in terms of how we are talking, how they are involved in a tandem, right? In consensus, agreeing the targets, and consensus to agreeing the budget. It's no longer managed by Muppets that don't understand football or finances or negotiations. So we will see crisp negotiation. We will not overpay. We will sell right. And at the end of the day, Ineos is now in charge, or Trawlers Limited is in charge of the footballing operation. So there will be no vetoes in terms of going all the way up to Joel Glazer to sign off. So it's going to be swift. That's the clear path, right?
100%.
The result will show for themselves next season, and it depends on, right?
Yeah, MUFC is coming in saying he's saying United can spend 85% of their revenue with this new thing coming into play. So there will be no excuses about FFP anymore technically, or is there rules still in place that will take that fake ass rule?
No, that's the new thing that they voted through. It used to be 75%, so they're moving more over from the PSR to the UEFA rules. That companies can clubs. Why I'm saying companies, clubs can spend 85% of the generated football operations revenue. So that's a massive thing. But does it benefit more the big clubs, or does it benefit also the small clubs? We spoke about this yesterday as well. There was even a suggestion to introduce a beauty tax, which is absolutely bullshit. Instead of points deduction for cheating, you can pay yourself out. There's more corruption.
Oh, that's the luxury tax from in the basketball, NBA and shit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Evo Bossett saying the question I'd ask is how much money has Baltimore pocketed from shady transfer deals done through his son's agency? 60 million difference in evaluation to purchase price on Anthony's questioning.
Yeah, his son is apparently was working for SEG, which is affiliated to Ten Hag, and because SEG is Ten Hag's agency representations as well. I heard rumbles and reports, but it's not really been investigated properly, so we don't really know. It's about his son, I guess. And I guess this is the shady business of agencies, right? And that's why FIFA has put in new regulations in terms of you need to have a proper sit down, a proper examination, and stuff like that. You'll be surprised with the back end of the football industry. It's been corrupt for years. Agents has been dominating and changing the market and having more power over clubs. Holding the stronger. But now, and this is the last season now. You're coming into the summer window now. They're going to earn less commissions in total. I think it's about maximum 20% of the overall compensation. What the compensation salary, if you get 18 million for 1 year, and you sign up for 5 years, that you can take maximum 20% of that as an agent fee. So there used to be crazy money, right? So that is regulated now. Anyway.
Jarvis is saying, we don't know how Joel Glazer will react if things go tits up in the beginning. The Glazers still have the majority vote. Will they intervene to protect their asset MUFC if they feel the pressure? I don't know. They just pocketed 1.5 billion, 1.3 billion. Yeah. So I think they would have to lose. It looks like
more they are. I mean, if you put your thinking hat on when dust has settled, it looks like with the proposal and what's been voted in the executive board meeting and that took place in February, there was no objection for selling Class B shares, to sell the Class B shares is on a minimum $35 per share. So they basically solidified that one, so they can easily fizz out, sell Class B share. Maybe this was the beginning of the end of the Glazers because they are in financial trouble and they need money, and this was the start. Whoever will come in, can be Ratcliffe, can be, I don't know, Apple, can be Qatar, can be anyone, right? Can just come in and just start buying the shares, right? So that has left the door open. So that, call it what it is, but they just made sure that they will make profit, right? Whatever they wanted. So $35 per share means that Mark can come in here and start buying up shares for 40, right? This pure profit, and they will finally make that 10 billion, 7-8 billion extra. So this is the way I see it right now. But that is within the next 18 months, they might be fizzed out. So big up Jarvis for coming in. The Glazers are still here. Glazers out. Glazers out. I don't trust the new structure. Neither do I yet. All right.
100%.
We got to do a separate video regarding this because at the end of the day, it's been a lot of PR, but the Glazer out moments all of a sudden stop. And I think that this was a clever move from the Glazers to sort of put the PR and Ratcliffe and everything to silence the protest and everything else, because it was certainly damaging the revenue and the image as well for them. So we still have to keep the pressure. We still have to ask the difficult questions. So we still need to remind us that the one that's been hurting this club for the past 18 years are still here. And so we will not rest on our laurels until they are gone. Make no doubt about it.
True. And GB coming in with the final comment today. Ineos has only signed one person so far for the new management, and he can't start for another month, actually, GB, because I think he starts in June. So I think it's April, May, and I think he starts the first week in June. So, that's one thing. But I also think that, Jason Wilcox is reportedly set to, if he does come in, would be also in the first week of June.
Bestie means that Barada is nailed on, but, they also signed the deployment contract, Wilcox and Ashford. So there's basically 3 signed. And the next in line is to move down the pecking order to go for the head of recruitment. So you work yourself from the top all the way down to the bottom, and you will see a lot of overhaul within the training grounds and training staff as well. And we spoke about this yesterday as well. Benny McCarthy is leaving, the medical staff, everything's going to be overlooked and overthrown, including even people that was employed by Ed Woodward. They're slowly going to go away. Clyde Roche, Patrick Stewart, all them, right? So it's got to take about 3 years to get rid of it and have a fully new organization, right? Expect about 2 to 3 years if you done the proper planning. And they're not mugs, they are professionals. Anyway, big up. Oof. Got a drink of water. We've been live for 1 hour and 10 minutes. And guys, there's about 120 of you watching on all cross platforms. Please, if you can give us a like, that will certainly help the YouTube algorithm. Can we get 100 likes? We will be more than happier for being slaving here for 1 hour and talking sense or no sense at all. We've been listening to Erik ten Hag's press conference. It's been some really interesting questions asked about Rashford. Rashford was training today, and he might be assessed to start tomorrow. There's no Varane, there's no Johnny Evans. 100%. Erik ten Hag talked about he needs to show fight. He needs to have more energy. Kind of gives it away how he's going to line up on the midfield, potentially including Mason Mount and then Bruno Fernandes. Rashford might be a doubt, but the front line is what we said yesterday. Go back to check me and Jarvis and Mark. We did the preview yesterday. We picked Garnacho to the left, Højlund in the middle, and Anthony Dos Santos on the right. So let us know what is your lineup as well. Drop a comment in the comment section. What's your score prediction at the end of the day? Does it really matter? Victory is what we need. But we can ask you guys, what is your score prediction? And who do you think will line up as well? Mark, what is your score prediction? You told me yesterday, by the way.
Yesterday I said 3-1. Today I think it's going to be 4-1. I think we're going to score a lot of goals today. I just feel for some reason
you're allowed to be delusional. You're allowed to dream.
Yeah. I'm going to be all the way today. Today, I'm on it. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Let's
Free
go.
Willy. Free Willy. Oh, yeah. Jarvis is say, I think it will take 5 years for rebuild, as you said. It's a whole new organization. Let me see what MUFC. Thank you, MUFC. You've been providing very good questions. Actually, I really applaud you for this one. 100% glazes out what you are. I don't really know who you are, but you are touching good points here. I've seen the hair wants to start doing OnlyFans. What the fuck? He's a free agent. Can't believe no one has snapped him up. Yeah, that's a weird one, right? We should kept him, but now he's got his eyes on spicy links. Yeah, he was spotted being in Manchester with doing our photo ops with Bruno. But this is a weird one. He's been a free agent, and why is he not playing? He's clearly good enough. Mark, do you know why he's not playing, man? Is it because he's being a father to the new baby, just enjoying taking a step back?
Maybe he's just taking a break. Maybe he's just taking a break, a year to recover. He has been playing week in, week out when he was at Man United, and maybe just taking a year off to recover.
Yeah, but bro, he made his millions already. He's not in a rush. Like, he got a newborn baby. It was away because his wife was still living in Spain, right? So maybe that's him just taking a time off, being a father, spend quality time. It's the birth of your daughter. You want to see her grow up. Maybe football is not your priority right now. Football will always be there. So, and that leads to where you want to play football. If he's living in Spain, ideally he will play for a Spanish club where he resides. So, yeah, big up David De Gea, legend of the club, and the broken fax machine. 39 likes. Get us more likes. Compost Smurf is coming in here almost before we close the shop. We also have Ivan here coming in here. We have a batch of promising kids coming through. We've spoken about that earlier today. They have a head start if handled correctly. Sell the right people and make smart signings, and there will be a big difference. Exactly, Compost. This is what we spoke about majority of this stream as well. And coming in last before we close in the shop, Empoya Ivan, you can read that one, Mark, because I'm getting.
I think Ten Hag should be given one more season to prove himself, because even the blind would know that this guy is going through from the match day one. Injuries became injuries. It's Ivan. Big up to you, bro, because I think the same way. 100%.
Yep. Good stuff, people. Thank you so much. Thank God it's Friday. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in on this lunch break. I hope you really enjoy the show. We're the only one that does the watch along. We call it now the watch along of the live press conference and react. If you do watch this in retrospective, give us a little bit of a cheeky like, subscribe if you haven't, and by all means, hit that personal notification button and make it notification available at all costs, because that means that you will never miss a live stream or a video upload. Right now, YouTube doesn't give you that when we go live. if you haven't done that. So that is a little bit of a disadvantage. So get those personalization up as well. And we should see you not later on tonight. This is the only stream that we do for today. But tomorrow we are back. Full day, match day. Wow. We are talking about the warm-up show, of course. We're talking about the watch-along and the post-match reaction fan debate highlights. So we are definitely looking forward to see you tomorrow. And hopefully we will have a after party victory. Mark, my score prediction at the end of the day. I'm not going to jinx it. I don't think it will. It will be a basketball game tomorrow. I think it will be throughout the sink football. I think it's going to be a 3-2 to United, or maybe a 2-1 United. I don't know. But a win is a win. Win, lose, draw. We're always here for you guys. Have a beautiful, blessed Friday, and thank you for tuning in. This has been Mick, and that's
Mark.
And
Big
we
up
are
everybody.
the M&Ms. I don't know, M&Ms, chocolates. There's nuts and there's peanuts and stuff like that, right?
I'll be the one in the yellow pack.
In the yellow pack. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. That was good energy. We got time to close the shop. See you till next time. Glory, glory, Manchester United. And remember, Glazers out. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Release TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.